Tell me about the locks on the doors.
I believe that Colin had been subletting the upstairs part of the apartment for some time.
Had you been subletting those rooms, sir?
There was the room let to a guy, and that chappie was there from the day we moved in.
How long was he there for?
About 2006, 2000, something like that.
So he was there for 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
What evidence do you have, sir, that you notified the initial landlord that there was going to be a subtenant in that property?
The guy that dealt with me at the time was aware of that fact, and I told him that, and he said, don't worry about that, that's okay, I'm aware of it.
I cannot believe.
Who did he pay rent to?
He paid me no money. What he did was he put a couple of shillings into the gas meter or the electric meter or things like that, and that was it. He never used anything, he never slept there, I mean, he never cooked there,
The lock
nothing.
on the door, sir?
He asked me if I would put one on. The other door I put a lock on at
Why?
the time because I had some equipment in there.
What equipment?
Electrical equipment and my gymnasium equipment.
Ostensibly what's said by Colin is that for a period way before you had any managerial control over this, there was a third party that lived there from time to time and on an ad hoc basis would give money to the person who ran the place. Does that sound like a likely thing to you?
No, not at all. No. When Colin did move out and I went into the property, and I still am getting posts there now, I have a lot of posts to different people's names, HRMC letters.
Well, sometimes that could be a mistake. I want to just have a look.
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you very much.
And these are all recently collected.
6 different named people who appear to be getting posts to your address. Are you surprised that there are the names of 6 different people getting mail to your property?
I wasn't allowed to go into the flat, so I don't know what post has been coming in there at all.
You're saying this could have come after you left?
Yes.
Just have a look at the names. Do you recognise any of them? Do you recognise the name of the HMRC person? Do you you don't recognise that name at all?
Don't know who they are.
Literally 10 days after you took possession of the property, you had a builder come in and give you a quote. And that quote was, for what purpose, please, madam?
Well, actually, the builder was booked to go in and redecorate. However, once he went in and saw the property, he rang me up and said, this isn't a simple redecoration. It's much worse than what he thought it was going to be.
What was that assessment based on?
Well, the assessment was based on the fact that there was a few issues with things like windowsills that were damaged. There was a few issues with damp that he was hoping wasn't going to be a wider problem because there's a flat roof on the property. We'd agreed, once he'd gone and looked at it, he gave me a round quote because it was just to put in a very basic kitchen and bathroom without doing anything else.
But that's the point, madam. You're also going to put in a new kitchen and a new bathroom.
It just simply was the fact there was so much work to be done, and I didn't want to do this much, that by the time you skimmed all the walls and replaced the Artex and put the coving up, you could not just leave the bathroom and the kitchen in. It was actually a very small part of what needed doing.
Explain to me why, after 13 years, this document assists me come to any conclusion about whether any of the work required was beyond wear and tear over a decade.
Well, I reasonably believe that Colin was subletting, which is why he made sure that I never had any reason or any idea that I needed to come into the property. There was never a problem.
What do you mean by that?
I think he was renting all 3 rooms, be it a bed and breakfast or subletting. I think he had all 3 bedrooms upstairs rented. He didn't want me in the property, so there was never any problems. That's why he never mentioned anything in regards to coving being down, because it simply didn't suit him.
You had every legal right to inspect that property whenever you wanted. Whether he wanted you there or not, why didn't you do that?
I was just so simply busy. He was always very helpful whenever I saw him. There was never, ever any issue. Why would I force entry into a property?
You don't need to force it.
No.
You've got a key.
No, I mean, I just...
It's your house.
Yes.
He's just a tenant with limited rights. Did you sublet these rooms, as is alleged by Natalie, yes or no?
No.
Did that ever happen at all? I'm going to ask you, Eileen.
Not to my knowledge, no.
What do you... Oh, madam.
No. No, it didn't.
Why did you say not to my knowledge?
That's how I answer questions at times.
At what times? Would you like a sandwich? Not to my knowledge.
Not particularly.
But that lock on one of those doors I agree with you, madam. Creates a deep-seated suspicion. It's problematic for you because of when you took this all over, do you see?
Yes.
And I do believe that at some point somebody else lived there. Am I right about that, or could I be wrong for the first time ever, Eileen? Don't tell me, Porkis, it doesn't affect your case.
Yes, there could have been, but he didn't pay rent.
Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.